When you have it, say amen. And it reads as follows. Meanwhile, a large crowd of Jews found out that Jesus was there and came, not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests made plans to kill Lazarus as well. For on account of him, many of the Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their faith in him. You may be seated. The title that I gave this Mother's Day message was, Keep on Doing What You're Doing. Now, to give you a little backstory about this, you all know the story of Jesus and Lazarus. They were friends. They were homeboys. They knew each other. They was cool. They was good to go. But one day, Lazarus got sick. His sisters called for Jesus. They said, come save my brother. I know you can do it because you got the power. Jesus said, I'll be there in a little bit. Just hold on. Don't rush things. There's a plan in order. Jesus was literally 6 miles away. To give you an idea, that is like running two 5K marathons. That's not bad. I ain't gonna tell you what my time was that I ran my 5K, but I would have got there in time. I'll just put it that way. All right? Jesus chose to wait 3 days. And on the 4th day, he got there. They had already buried him, put him in the tomb, wrapped him up. He was all put away. Jesus got there. They said, why didn't you get there earlier? You could have saved my brother. Jesus said it was because I got a plan. Now, sit back and watch what God does. He walked over to the tomb, said, move away the stone, called Lazarus out. Lazarus, come forth. With words, Lazarus got up, came out the tomb, unraveled the death dressing, and went to dinner. I want you to understand this story because it's a great story to think about, because what can we do with the power that God has given us? But the other piece to the puzzle is that there's no end to Lazarus after this point. Lazarus died, was raised from the grave, and nowhere else in the Bible does it talk about him going away again. That is some powerful stuff, because what God raises up, nobody can kill. Let me go into my first point, because I want you to get this. This is some powerful stuff in these 3 little verses. My first point, raise those dead things in your life, mothers. Raise those dead things in your life. Those things that you had to sit off to the side when you started making a family. Those things you couldn't accomplish back in the day because you had other things to worry about. Raise those dead things up and let them live. Get them, call them forward and say, come forth so that we can move forward. So I can get you into action. So I can get this moving. Those dead things don't have to stay dead anymore. You can go and finish a degree that you started and couldn't finish because of the family. Start a business that you had a dream about when you was a little girl. You can do that. Take a trip. Go to Europe. Go to Africa. See the pyramids. Do the things that you wanted to do before. Don't wait and think that that dead thing can't be raised up. Treat that thing like a Rama Salavitica. Yeah, I threw that word out on you. I had to check that myself. A Rama Salavitica. Treat it like that. Now, y'all looking at me like, what is a Rama Salavitica? Here you go. You ready for it? Write it down. A wood frog. I'm going to let that sit for a minute, because y'all wondering where I'm going with a wood frog. See, the things that you had in the past, treat it like a wood frog in the wintertime. See, the thing that a wood frog does is a wood frog will be buried in ice, look dead, because all of its parts have shut down to the point where it can exist in a frozen state. But when the weather changes, when the time comes, it will unthaw and hop on out of there. It will come back to life. Don't sit there and look at what you have in the past and think that it's dead and can't come back to life. What God has put in your heart to do, it can come back to life. Once you raise it up, stop treating it like a dead thing anymore. The thing that Jesus did when he called Lazarus forth, he sat down and went to dinner with him. Now, the common thought is Lazarus was dead. He must have smelled kind of funny. But Jesus didn't treat him any different. Stop treating that thing different that you want to raise up from the dead, that you want to bring forward. Stop talking about, I want to start a little business. No, that's treating it like it's still dead. I want to start a big business. I want to make this popular. I want to make this something good. I want to help the community. Whatever it is, stop treating it like it's still dead. Jesus was going to break bread with Lazarus and his family after he called them from the dead. Take it and share it with people. That's what the point is about this. Share it with folks, that dead thing that you had in your life. Don't sit there and act like you can't do it. My point 2, some people will put you through a lot when that dead thing is raised. I'm sad to say, there's some folks that don't want to see you succeed. Just know that haters are going to hate. Haters are going to hate. They don't care. They don't want to see you do good. They don't want to see you succeed. They want to keep seeing you in the struggle. But I came by to tell somebody today that we serve a God that doesn't want to see you struggle. So when people get on your nerves, don't lose it on them. Just sing the Morris Day song to them. C-O-O-L. What's that spell? I'm cool. I ain't worried about what you got going on in your life. I'm cool with it. I'm doing what I got to do. Hit them with that. And you know what's going to happen to them? They're going to be boggled. Their mind going to be turned upside down. How is you that cool? See, the Pharisees wanted to get back at Jesus. They thought he was pulling away the Jews that were going to follow him because he raised Lazarus from the dead. Just like some folks are going to hate on you because folks are going to come and follow where you go because you decided to leave. Stop waiting on other folks' permission. Stop waiting on other folks to give you encouragement. Encourage yourself and keep it moving forward. Somebody gave me my timer. There it is. Point 3. Here's my point 3. Even though they want to kill what you raised, others will see God all over it. Go back to 10 and 11. So the chief priests made plans to kill Lazarus as well, for on account of him, many of the Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their faith in him. People will see God all over what you do. You don't have to brag and boast about it. If you do your part and do what you're supposed to do, they'll see God all in it. They'll see that God resurrected it. They'll see that God put his finger on it. Because what he blesses you with, you shouldn't have had in the first place. You weren't worthy of it. You didn't deserve it. But God will give it to you anyway. That's the God that we serve. What you raised from the dead is what we need to see. That's the thing that folks need to see. That's the test and the testimony that folks will get out of what you do. Because you came with a GED and now you're the CEO of, I'm helping somebody today. I'm helping somebody today. You can be whatever God has placed in your heart to be. You don't have to wait for somebody else. If you can dream it, you can do it. Remember to push. Pray until something happens. Keep doing what you're doing. Let me wrap this up. Jesus kept doing what he was sent to do. After he raised Lazarus from the dead, he had dinner with Lazarus. Then he went on and went to go have dinner with the 12 disciples. Told them, this is what I'm going to do. He didn't stop what he was going to do. He kept doing what he was doing. Keep working towards what you're doing. Keep doing what you've been doing. Stay faithful to what you are doing with God's blessings. Don't stop and say, I can't do. Don't stop and say, I'm giving up. Keep doing what you're doing. As a mother, I know it's one of the hardest jobs in the world. Because you stop everything that you do and make sure your raggedy husband, that good man that you with is well taken care of. You make sure that he goes to his doctor's appointments on time. You make sure that he eats right. You make sure the kids do what they're supposed to. You make sure your family is doing. You make sure everybody else is doing what they, and don't take care of you. I'm come by to tell you today, make sure you take care of yourself and do what you're supposed to do to take care of your mind, your body, and your heart. Make sure you take care of you so that you can raise up that dead thing and get it moving forward. Remember, God will set a table before your enemies. Those folks that hate you, he'll sit them right there with you. And they will sit there and see you eating well. You doing good. Hate on me if you want. I ain't got to wait for you to pat me on the back. I'm going to pat myself. Let me tell somebody else over on the other side. Don't wait to have somebody pat you on the back. Pat you. And I know if my arm could get that far back, yours can too. Let me move on. Let me move on. And when they ask you, how did it happen? How did you get there? Tell them it was the victory, and the victory belongs to Jesus. It all goes to Jesus. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I stuck with what he told me to do, but it was him that did it. He died on the cross for my sins. He died that I could go and be free to do the things that I'm supposed to do. It's the victory belongs to him. But if you need some biblical scripture, if you need some backup to this, let me help somebody. Come here, Joseph. Come here. Let me get some help, Joseph. Your brothers put you in a pit, sold you into slavery, yet you raised that thing from the dead and helped everybody in it. Come here, Noah. Come here. I'm trying to help somebody. Come here, Noah. Tell them what you did, Noah. I went out and built an ark while everybody around told me I was crazy. Why is you building this big old boat in the desert? Why is you building on a mountain? Ain't nobody gonna need a boat on a mountain. You look stupid. You look dumb. You look like you ain't got no good sense. That's what people will say, but what did Noah say? I'm gonna build it anyway. I'm gonna do what God called me to do. I came by to tell somebody, don't worry if they call you stupid. Don't worry if they call you knucklehead. Don't worry about whatever they say. Just know that God has placed it in your heart to do what he has you to do. And when it's time, when that rain comes and they all swimming out there sinking, they gonna be begging, can I get in your boat? Can I get a ride? Can I get to shore? Can you help me get to where I need to be? You just tell them you should have built your own boat.